And we are live. What is going on, Reels and Heels Nation out there? We're doing a San Antonio themed episode. I know we're a little late, had to do some things, but Nicole will be joining us in a few minutes. She just had to get this furniture that someone was throwing to the side of the road, and like it's free. So, but we have a couple cool guests coming on. That I look forward to talking to. Both are pop culture lovers. One's a local artist. Another one, a huge Power Ranger fan, which has an awesome truck, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes. So let me bring on our first guest. This is Dallas. Hey, Dallas, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. I'm happy it's Saturday.
Oh yeah, we're all happy it's Saturday. Thank you for joining us. I kind of
Absolutely.
found you by chance, on Facebook. Fell in love with your art and can't wait to talk about it. But go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone, and then we'll bring up our next guest as well.
Hello, I am Dallas Reams. I go by Dreams because it's my first and last name, and I am an artist here in San Antonio, and I love to paint.
All right, let's bring up our other guest for today. Oh, he's going by Red Ranger Truck. Hey man, how you doing?
How doing?
I'm on, yeah.
Let's go.
That's good. So, John, thank you for joining us. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you for having me on today. This is pretty cool and exciting. My name is John. I also go by Red Ranger Truck, also on Instagram, Red Ranger Truck. I have a huge admiration and a big obsession and collectibles for all things Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, primarily the red one. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to picking your brain about Power Rangers and especially the Red Ranger because there's many of them. So I would love to find out which one is your favorite. So I was supposed to upload some photos here, which I will get to. But Dallas, let's talk about what got you into art. Why I upload some of your artwork.
All right. I got into art because of my dad. He was in the Coast Guard, so he drew a lot, and he would do like D&D drawings, like the dragons and the characters for the games. And I was like, oh, I want to learn. So every day after school, he would draw a little something with me. And I just kind of went up from there. I realized I like painting way more than drawing.
So, do you remember the first drawing or painting that you did and what it was?
The one I remember the best or the most is my dad taught me how to draw an orc with like the pointy ears and the nose, and we did the rings and the teeth, and it looks so amazing. And he helped me with the shading that I took it to school, and everybody was just like, that is the coolest. And from there I just started drawing like these little creatures, and it slowly like grew into more pleasant girly stuff. So now it's just a mix of both.
Oh, that's awesome.
Creatures with
Yeah,
bows in their hair.
I have a few here that I'm uploading right now to the.
Oh yeah,
Let's
I'm sure
see.
there's quite a few.
Yeah.
It's I literally call it my imagination. I said, "Welcome to my imagination."
Your
I have not
imagination.
done a Power Ranger painting, by the way, yet, and that sounds amazing. When he said a huge Power Ranger fan, I thought he
Oh,
was
if
talking
you were
about
to do a
me.
Power Ranger one, which one would you do?
Oh man. Well, I would definitely want to do a Rita Repulsa and a Goldar. I kind of like the villains, and I was like one with all five, of course, the Power Rangers. I don't know about the what is it? What are they called? The Zords? Tell me.
The Megazords, the
The
There
putties.
you go.
Dinozords?
Megazord. Or
Yeah.
Alpha. Ay, 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 ay,
There you go.
Rangers. I feel like he's an underrated character and he deserves a
Oh, that would
painting.
be a good one.
That was your question.
You know, my favorite Ranger has always been Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger. I mean, I love the White Ranger as well, but the Green Ranger is like the best.
If I'm not mistaken, he just passed,
Let's see
right?
here. All right, I think this is. Yeah, he passed late last year. His birthday was actually, I think, the beginning of this week. He would have been 50 years old.
Dang.
Such a shame because the guy was a role model for
I
so
was gonna
many
say
people. I've had the chance to meet him and talk to him in person at a.
I like that he knew real martial
Let's
arts.
see here.
For sure. Actually,
Yeah.
just came across his daughter last Sunday at Dragon's Lair. She got to take a photo in front of my Red Ranger truck, which was pretty cool.
That is very cool. I bet you it's very like memorable for her too.
Of course.
That's a whole franchise behind her daddy.
Taking them out.
Yeah. I want to see the new movie that he did.
What movie?
The Legend of the White Dragon, I believe it's called.
See,
All right, so I
learning
have your
something new
art.
every day.
Yeah. So here's one of your pieces. This is the piece I fell in love with.
Yes, she came very
Yeah.
easy to me one day. I was just hanging with friends, and I used a reusable canvas. It already had paint on it, and so it's like a cover up on a tattoo. Like, how am I going to utilize this canvas? And she was born. And you know what's really sad? After I painted this, not even 2 weeks later, the voice of Harley Quinn, she passed away.
Yes, that was very sad to hear. I know a lot of my friends that do the convention circuit that personally met her many times over the years. They were heartbroken. It was just as like when Kevin Conroy passed away, the voice of Batman, and that just hit everyone really hard.
I was like, I see destiny. It was meant to paint her. You were meant to see her, and you were like, "Hey, come be on my podcast."
Yeah, I know. So how I found you was by chance. I saw an ad for this place called Crescent Moon, and I was
Yeah.
like, this store looks really cool. And so like I was going through the pictures and I saw this, and I was like, I love it. When we talk about your other art here, let's talk about Crescent Moon, and then I will post some more pictures of your other art. Like, how did you get your stuff in Crescent Moon?
Absolutely. We were at a vendor event, and somebody said there's this place called Crescent Moon. It's an antique shop. And right away, I'm like, oh my gosh, Ned, okay. Do you see my art? Do you see that in an antique shop? And they go, no, no, no. It's not that kind of shop. And I was like, okay, well, we'll check it out. We'll check it out. So after the event, it was 2 days later, and I kind of like call her my business partner. She does Malicious. She goes, let's go check it out. So we went over there, and it was like the coolest stuff. It's an eclectic of stuff. It's for every age. It's if you want records, old timey stuff, hair bows, art. It was very cool. And I was like, okay, I could get behind this. So we inquired, and I love the way they advertise. Every time I go in there, I probably spend a little of my money. But very cool place. I recommend check it out.
Yeah. Here's another piece here that I like to share. This is really cool too.
I'm a huge Miyazaki film fan. Film fan. I like bright colors, and No Face is always white, and I kept seeing it, so I started just painting him orange and went from there. And I love the way the colors came. I'm actually in the process. I want to turn it into a holographic sticker.
That would be really cool.
Right? I would think so too. But I don't really do prints. I'm just starting to dabble.
I think canvas is where it is, but I'm sure your prints would do well as well.
Yeah.
I like this one. This one's cool.
My husband loves regular show, and I fell in love with it too. So I did Mordecai and Rigby, but I did them real. I thought it was funnier. Only certain people would get it.
Yeah. So besides doing art, we talked earlier about this before we were live. You used to be a roller derby girl. You want to kind of talk about that experience?
Oh yeah. I used to do roller derby 2 years before COVID, and it was a lot of fun. I joined up with a lot of girls, and we were in it, and it's a lot about women who are. Give me one. I'm so sorry. My daughter just walked in.
Oh, it's okay.
She's standing at the door asking for a peanut butter and jelly, and I was trying to talk. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I have kids too. I know how it
But
is.
yeah, before COVID happened, roller derby. It's a bunch of moms and these awesome girls who are just like warriors. I feel like they were warriors or something in another lifetime, and they are so tough. And we just went, and it was like getting rid of, you're at home. Well, for me, I was a stay-at-home mom. You're with two kids all day, and they're like, no, 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 and I'm like, oh. So you're at derby. And you're allowed to get out that aggression and have fun and be with other moms that are just like, ah. So I don't know. But yes,
Yeah.
it was a really good time. I did face painting for derby. I would do the bouts. I would paint the children's faces. I got to sell art with the roller derby, and I got to donate some pieces too. It was a really good group. But then COVID happened, and we were not allowed to skate anymore. So I picked up park skating, and I just kind of haven't gone back.
So our good friend Elizabeth here says that she loves Harley Quinn. So.
Oh, nice. Oh, there's comment. I can't see the comments, but thank you. I appreciate that. Like,
So I need to show John's cool truck here. This is his Red Ranger truck.
that is a cool truck.
Thank you.
So John, what's the story behind this truck?
So, as a kid, you always wanted everything Power Rangers, but of course, you didn't have money as a kid. You maybe had $10 that you saved up. Well, you get into the workforce, and like your little passion, the things you were obsessed with as a kid, it still sticks around. And you're like, you know what? How can I share my passion with everybody else? The Ford Ranger had went away for the better part of 9 years, give or take, in the American market. It stayed around the world, in Europe and Australia, but it finally came back to America in 2019. So I started seeing it coming back. I'm like, oh, Ford Ranger, that's cool. Then I'm all like, wait, Ranger. It comes in red. Let's go. So I had been plotting it for a while. I had been wanting a newer vehicle since the vehicle I had already at that time was already starting to get up there in age and in mileage. And it'd been a very good car. I had recently just sold it too. That was a sad date, but that's neither here nor there. So I decided, like, you know what? I kept telling my wife, I was like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get a truck. I don't know, maybe a Ford Ranger. I don't know, maybe possibly red, making sure Red Ranger did not get too close to each other to, click the light bulb off. So it's one of those, like, I finally made the decision. The interest rates were, like, pretty low at the time due to COVID going on. Like, vehicles weren't selling. So interest rates just dropped like a brick at that point. So decided to pull the trigger to go get myself a Ford Ranger in red. And then within time, saved up some money to go ahead and get some graphics on the hood. And there's actually a helmet and a dinosaur on the backside of the bed of the truck.
Okay. So you weren't here when I showed this, but this is his truck. Check this out.
Oh my gosh.
If you look at the license plates,
Go Power Rangers. Well, Go Power.
It says Go
I
Power,
don't
but
have my glasses
the board one, it says Ranger.
I don't have my glasses on because they're not transitioned yet.
So this is my wife and co-host Nicole. She decided to join us. I know we found furniture on the side of the road. So
when you leave all your furniture behind, basically on the side of the road, like we did when we left Florida, like we found it's the exact same color as the rest of the furniture we've already bought. We just didn't have a TV stand, and it's a TV stand. It just needs to be cleaned up. Like, well, it works.
Hey, take it.
And
I reuse
nightstand
stuff all the time.
and I have a bench and a desk and a cute little sewing table that I'm going to try to figure out how to redo just because they were free. And I'm like, well, I can start having a hobby now because I don't have to work a second job. So like I can do something that I've wanted to do. Like I'm not
you can be artistic, you get to express yourself, you get to redo it. I was like, I saw somebody they got a sewing machine and they just painted it pink like the car, what is it, like the car paint, the enamel, and it was all sparkly and they sold it for like 3 times the price. I was like, that's amazing. But it was beautiful.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, right now I don't think I'm very good at anything because I'm just starting out, but it's like I'm doing a lot of research on how to take pieces that have kind of been beaten up a little bit and find ways to bring them back. And so doing research, watching a lot of YouTube videos. So I'm like, well, we'll see what happens. Like, I think I could turn it into something that I could at least have in my house for right now.
So I think Elizabeth is talking to you, John. You guys were tailgate buddies last season.
Yeah, I think that's how I met you, right now, because, the Brahmas have a season ticket holder with the Brahmas re-up for season 2. Let's go. So
yes.
Looking forward to it. Hello, Elizabeth. Nice to see you again, man.
Let's talk about some things that are coming up that are pretty cool in San Antonio. Next weekend, there's 3 events. It's going to be crazy for us to try to do all 3 events, but they're all free events, so that's a plus.
You're trying to tire me out on my only real day off.
Well, that's when events happen on the weekends. So.
I know, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful that I don't have to work a second job because I usually miss them. But
so the first one is Monster Con at the Rolling Oaks Mall. That looks really cool. We love horror. Spooky season is your favorite season.
I love Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay, I like to be scared, but I like to be scared within reason. So don't jump out at me. Like, I do not like when people jump out at me. Don't chase me with a sword, a chainsaw, or a motorcycle for that matter. Because
oh, do I have to tell the story again?
Oh, you were so mean to me. We had just left Texas Chainsaw Massacre
in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas when we were first together. And there's like maybe 10 cars in the parking garage.
Yeah, and
at the Station Casino.
Yeah, the movie theater was at a hotel, so we parked in the parking garage.
For real. So we just leave, and it's like desolate. It looks like a horror movie all by itself. So then this guy starts his motorcycle, and I'm like, what the hell? And I thought it was a chainsaw, so I took off running. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, and he's like, it's a motorcycle.
And as you see the motorcycle drive by, it's hilarious.
I was super embarrassed, but I'm like, this is why I tell people.
Better safe than sorry.
If I'm running, you better run too, because you never know.
Ask questions later.
But
yeah.
He made fun of me for a long time.
That's a horror event that we look forward to. And then also that same weekend in Shirts is the Alamo Hero Con, which is more of a comic convention. That's at the Shirts Convention Center. That should be interesting. They have some cool guests. They have Cheryl Chase, who's the original voice of Angelica on Rugrats. She's going to be there, so that's going to be awesome. And then the new person that took over for C-3PO from Anthony Daniels.
Isn't his name Daniel something?
No, his name's Chris. I'll look it up here.
I don't remember. There's a D somewhere in that.
Because
he showed me the picture, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. And he says, he's new.
Yeah,
like, oh, okay.
Because, Anthony Daniels has done pretty much every Star Wars movie from the beginning.
I feel bad because I'm like, I know people's faces, but I don't know people's names, or I know their voices because
Chris Bartlett. Chris Bartlett is his name.
Chris Bartlett, okay.
Yeah.
Not Daniel. Leilani.
I'd be excited about the Angelica.
Yeah. Especially for those that in the 90s grew up with Rugrats.
Well, the voice of Lucy Van Pelt is going to be there too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I remember her in the Miyazaki film, My Neighbor Totoro. She played the sister, and then the other sisters took it over, the Fanning sisters. They had to remake it. But the original was Angelica. And if I could find that copy, that would be amazing.
Yeah. And then the third event that weekend is a Funko Pop like swap shop at the Wonderland of Americas. And Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, for those that love wrestling, he's going to be a guest there. And we've always wanted to meet him. We've never been in the same place where he's been a guest. The story is Nicole has an attachment.
I make weird attachments to people for some reason, I guess.
But this makes sense. Yeah.
My dad passed away when I was 6. And so when I was little, my dad had a beard and kind of shaggy brown hair, kind of. And so for whatever reason, he always kind of reminded me of my dad, even though he doesn't really look like my dad. And he definitely doesn't sound like my dad. But he always kind of reminded me of him. You got it?
I'll get it in.
What? Do it. The computer, the battery light came on. We're like, oh, technical difficulties probably.
Oh, look at it. There's a little one.
Yeah, this one broke my barricade.
We were distracted and we got a guest.
But you were talking about Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, so he just kind of became, I don't know, he just kind of became like a visual stand-in for my dad. So it was weird. But then I remember him, and I always remember his laugh. So I always kind of thought he was funny, but he was really kind of a douchebag. His persona was, but hopefully he won't be, because other wrestlers I've met have not been very nice.
Right.
Or heard about. Like we've met John Cena, we've met, who else did we meet? I met Bret Hart. I wasn't impressed. But we met Tommy Dreamer and Melina.
Yeah, Hacksaw, Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw is awesome.
Yeah.
We met somebody else, didn't we?
I mean, I met a lot of the ROH guys before they went to AEW.
We met all them before they went there, but I didn't go to that show. You and Shane did.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I can't believe I didn't want to. I'm done.
I met Jake the Snake on accident. He asked me for a cigarette, and I didn't know who he was, so I sat there talking to him. And then I was like, "Nice to meet you." And I was like, "What's your name?" He's like, Jake the Snake. I was like,
oh. Oops.
I was like, "You can keep the whole pack." I'm so sorry. Here you go.
So Dallas, for those in San Antonio or those that don't live in San Antonio but want to visit San Antonio, where can they find your artwork? Is it just Crescent Moon, or do you have them in art galleries anywhere? Do you vend at events?
So I feel like there's a really good community of vendors and artists over here in San Antonio. Brick is where I would start, because on Sunday you don't have to sign up. As long as you have enough stuff, you just show first come, first serve. And you meet so many great people, and a lot of people like the San Japan or the Wonderland malls, Rolling Oaks malls. I know they do the horror events that you're talking about, and it's a good way to network, and you get to like broaden your horizons. And so I bounce from event to event, honestly. I will be at Brick, I'll be at Wonderland, I'll be at whatever's fun, and I can dress up and have a good time.
Fair enough.
And what about you, John? Do you go to events here in San Antonio? Where can people find you and your truck?
So it's Instagram would be the main one. What is it? Red Ranger Truck is the IG handle. I am also a vendor myself. I do a lot of lasering. I was actually just working on one right now. I do like a lot of tumblers, flasks, glass, wood. I don't know if you can see that. Here we have Elvira.
Oh, wow, it's Elvira.
That's cool.
I just got to clean it up, though.
Here, let me make you bigger here so
that way
people
you can see it.
Classy lady.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
So,
like it burns, like a burn laser.
Yeah, like an actual laser. Here, check it out real quick. I have my entire laser right here.
Oh wow.
I was not expecting that. Yeah. cool. It's like half your room is your workshop. You're like, if you just turn this way.
Oh yeah, in the back I got my workstation, and then I got the Xbox like right here. So
You're all set.
it's the
Where's the
jack of
mini
all.
fridge?
Oh no! That thing produces too much heat. I can't have that. It's too hot in here already.
So, how much do you usually charge for your stuff at shows?
So it really all depends on that. For instance, we have a flask right here. It'll be like $20. I have like tumblers. I don't have one next to me, and shame on me for that. But something like that's 25. So, but we can also do customizations. You want like a family photo? I can go ahead and make that happen for it. I don't know if you can see this one. This one's gonna be a little bit hard to see. You can see the Jack Skellington.
Yeah.
Jack and Sally.
Yeah, so I can do quite a variety of things. So it really depends on what you want. That may differ on the price. There's a base price, but if you want something customized, we just add a little bit more to it, just on how crazy you want the design to be. But I feel like I'm pretty reasonable and affordable, and I won't break the bank, and I'll give you something you'll love for the rest of your time.
All right. Is this something that you kind of fell into? Did you go to school for this, or?
Ooh, no. So it all started once my wife started doing her earrings. You can find her at Wicked Ace Creations. She does a lot of earrings for that. So it was one of those, she was doing it, and I was just kind of like just sitting there, twiddling my little thumbs about me, watching Cowboys on my phone. And then it's like, hey, when are you going to start doing something? And one of my friends was also vending with us. They were both ganging up on me, like, come on, John, do something. Like, I don't want to. Then I'm like, all right, fine. I'll do something. I'm like, what could I get into? I feel like I'm not all that crafty, but I found lasering, and I kind of just went right into it. So it's very expensive. I will say I did not anticipate the price in the beginning, but I'm starting to evolve. I'm starting to grow with it. I could tell you right now, 3 years ago, if you asked me, hey, John, would you ever do lasering or start your own side business? I would have told you no. Heck no. Like I never saw myself doing that at all.
Nice. So
I never saw myself fixing furniture either.
Do you vend then at like comic shows?
Times have
or
changed.
Do you go to like flea markets?
So the primary home base, if you will, is at Wonderland of the Americas. I've set up with Kings of Horror of Texas. You can find them on Instagram with that. And I do a lot of those shows, throughout the year. I'm actually going to be set up tomorrow at it's called I Want My Retro. They're going to have the soup guy from Seinfeld there, taking photos, answering all your questions. So I'll be set up there from 11 to 6 tomorrow at Wonderland of the Americas.
Yeah, so they run a lot of events that I've learned.
Wonderland of the Americas.
Yeah,
You're going there, right?
We are going to go.
Different.
Oh, that's
like places.
That's the mall that's on the other side of town. See, we're in Converse. We're still trying to get new to the the area here. So we're at 1604 and I-10. So, but we're 20 minutes pretty much from anywhere in the city.
I feel like 410 in Fredericksburg.
Nothing.
What was that?
It was off 410 in Fredericksburg.
Okay.
That's the location.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's close to Heroes.
I don't know where that is, but I've heard.
I think that's close to
It took me like 6 years to learn my way around, and it's a giant loop.
I think that's worse sometimes. Like, if it's a loop, now I don't know, where am I in the loop? Like,
before GPS, I remember I pulled off at a gas station and I was just crying and I was like, "Could somebody lead me to 410?" And this man was so nice. He's like, "Just follow me out." I was like, "Okay, thank you." Hard times back then without technology.
Last time that happened to me, I was in Detroit. So the cop told me that I needed to just keep driving and keep my windows rolled up.
Wow.
That's scary.
Girls should not be over here. There's a very nice African-American cop who said, "Sweetheart, you're too white to be here."
Oh,
all right. I'm out.
I agree. Please get me out.
Drive this way, keep your windows open, and don't look at anybody.
Okay. So since we're on the discussion of like how these two malls do events, since malls across America are not as big as they used to be, do you feel this is the future of malls for them to do businesses like events like this? to kind of stay relevant?
John?
Okay, I have seen some of the malls starting to do something like this. Some of them have started to do, throughout the year. Some of them are just kind of like towards Christmas time. I think South Park Mall on the south side was doing something like for like on the weekends you could set up and vend, but I haven't seen that throughout the year on this side. So I guess it really all depends because technically, what is it, Crossroads Mall or Wonderland of the Americas? It's not technically your traditional mall as it used to be. It's kind of like more medical at this point. There's a lot of you can get seen, you can get your eye checked. I think there's a dentist in there. So it's not a traditional mall, but there are still some aspects of a mall. So for something like that, I can definitely see that. Rolling Oaks, I know they are doing those events. A few events, not as much as Wonderland, but I know they are doing a few of those events, throughout the year. So I think it's possibly a new wrinkle to add to their business to help draw in more crowds to like the home-based tenants for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed across not just here, but in everywhere in the United States, just malls, because malls' heyday were the 80s and 90s, and maybe the early 2000s, with the exception of certain malls will always be busy just because of where they are, like Mall of America, but that's like an attraction.
It's a tourist attraction. Like that's different. There's a theme park in the middle of it. Like I've been there. It's very cool. But I think probably when a lot of things went online, like when you could pretty much buy everything online, I think a lot of times malls kind of took a back seat to a lot of that. Plus, a lot of the places where you could get really interesting stuff like that, like FYE used to have cute little pop culture stuff, and Hot Topic even had more stuff than they do now. A lot of their stuff is now online. So it's like people tend to buy stuff online and they don't.
Hot Topic used to have really cool stuff. I feel like.
Well, if you think though about Hot Topic on how they evolved, when they first came out, they were like a goth store, and now it's a pop culture store.
Well, and it's a little bit on the darker side of pop culture, which I like about they like kind of hone in on more of the more, I don't know, like the more strange. There's a lot of anime. There's a lot of horror icons. There's a lot of,
and then the band t-shirts and stuff.
Band t-shirts, and some of the stuff is more on the, the horror side of things, like the scary side of things. Like I'm still waiting to buy that Crow button-down shirt because I'm like dying.
Oh yeah. So I have to say hello to Terry. Terry's watching all the way from Ireland, by the way.
I love how he calls us the Texas Stew now.
Ireland.
I think we're the only people that are like from that group that have ventured out of Florida.
Yeah. So yeah, we spent 11 years in Florida, and that's where we started this show back in 2020 when Edge came back at the Royal Rumble.
Oh man, that was a good one.
Yeah, and so we did a Royal Rumble review, and then it was kind of like a one-off, but then COVID happened, and we're like, oh, we're stuck at home. Should we just continue doing it? And so we just kept.
So now that you hold on.
Uh-oh.
Just a second.
You got to get something?
No, I'm not getting anything. I'm just.
So we decided to just keep doing the show. And we've had fun. We've had so many awesome guests.
I spend most of my time sitting on the show just listening to people and being like enthralled at the fact that I have no real talent. I'm like, man, these people can do stuff, and I'm just sitting here.
So, I mean, the type of guests we've had on the past, we've had comic book writers, artists, we've had actors, we've had pro wrestling promoters, we've had directors. I actually had the director of Jason Goes to Hell on this show.
My marker's dead.
His name is Adam Marcus. That was a fun one.
Is there a marker over there?
Another marker?
Yeah.
But just to learn about people's journey and their creativity is the reason why I want to keep doing this show. And I love networking people. So a lot of times the guests who don't know each other end up being friends afterwards. And that's really cool.
Well, it's an opportunity to network and finding people, right? Like, if there's events happening, it's like share the ideas for the events, because the more people that are there, the more worth it is for, regular, like, interesting thing buyers like we are. Like, we'll go and be like, hey, look at all these people, here being interested in all kind of the same thing. No, you mentioned Edge, so ask. Who keeps eating my markers?
I don't know. Maybe they melted during the move.
They did not melt.
I don't. So I don't know if you guys are huge wrestling fans, but AEW is doing an event in Seattle on October 1st, and it's called Wrestle Dream. And so when their tickets went on pre-sale, they had an interesting pre-sale code. And there's a lot of theories going on about what this pre-sale code means.
So when Edge made his comeback, right after his like 9 years, his 9 year like hiatus with his neck injury, they basically made him quit, made him retire. And so he'd done all kinds of acting stuff, which I'd seen all except for Vikings. But he was like kind of in Hollywood. And then when he made his debut back at WWE at the Royal Rumble, I was dead because I've been an Edge fan my entire life. My entire adult life, probably, because it was like 96, 97, right? When I finally, maybe 98. I don't know. I was dating Mike at the time, so I don't know. But he was big into wrestling. So it was like this thing. So I've been following him ever since he came back. And I wasn't really watching a lot of WWE because they're kind of pissing me off. But like, I love Edge. So this is the promo code.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not even trying to hide it.
Like, are you teasing me? Because if you're teasing me, he better be coming back for some 5-second poses with Christian. So I'm out.
So the theory is this stands for Edge. This stands for Rated R. And 95 is when he auditioned for WWF at the time, which is WWE now. And his contract is done in September here with the WWE. He already wrestled his last match. I believe his contract ends next week. He didn't
re-sign because there was an argument over whatever.
Yeah.
Probably how many times he had to appear because he has little kids, But like,
I mean, if he's going to retire, he's not going to retire before doing something with Christian. They came in.
I don't know how you can be best friends for 30 years and not even start together because they started with Brood together, and then they were tag team, and then they were all kinds of crazy.
Right.
Before they really went their separate ways. But I really think that he says, how do we feel about the MJF using the Steiner math promo?
Oh, that was hilarious.
Anyways,
we'll get to that
in a second. But it just seems like our internet is not good because I just froze. But sorry, squirrel. I teach 5th grade. I don't know. But yeah, I'm stoked. Like, bring me back some 5-second poses, and I'm all there.
I was gonna say, if he comes out and if him and Christian don't do for those with the benefit of flash photography, I remember being 9 years old at the Freeman Coliseum watching SmackDown with my dad, and them doing the whole. They do 5 seconds on each side of the ring. They're like. I was like, oh, like, so I have to follow them like way far away, and it's all blurry, but whatever. I think my picture's over the flash or something.
Mine are this like they're this big in the picture that I took, like at the last event that I went to when they were together.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I'm kind of like I love the reminiscence of the Raw like Attitude Era. Like I miss that kind of television. Where it pushed a lot of envelopes and did some crazy.
It wouldn't work today. I don't think it would work today.
Some of it wouldn't work today. I think a lot of what MJF does now is pushing that.
I'll tell you, a lot of it doesn't work today because there's, as CM Punk would say, soft.
Too many offended people.
Yeah, everybody got soft. It was like, hey, you know what? You wouldn't have lasted a day in my middle school. Like, what the hell? Like,
I mean, I still like that.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Exactly.
I mean, I still like that CM Punk promo he did a few weeks back when he was, talking about should he apologize. And he's like, if you're expecting an apology, then you're as soft as the wrestlers you like.
Well, and I think that that's the point. Like, if you're gonna say something, then I think you should stand behind it. Unless you really didn't think about what you were saying before you said it.
Yeah,
But
you can grow up and grow out of a thought or how you felt. Like 10 years later, I'm like, okay, maybe kids and a husband aren't so bad.
yeah, and I think like over time we grow up and we learn things and we experience different things that help us grow. But when you're still saying the truth, like when you're still noticing all these things, is he just licking the bowl?
Yes, because he's a pig.
The dog has he needs to be an Overeaters Anonymous.
Yeah.
Sheesh, dog.
See, and I felt bad for my baby walking in. I was like, I'm so sorry.
We try to run,
please don't cry.
but we have kids and dogs and cats and rats. The only thing we don't have is an elephant. So hey, but we don't have.
You're like Snow White over there. You're like, ha 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 ha. And they're like,
pretty much. We don't have any birds. That's the other thing. We'll never have birds.
Not yet.
Birds.
Maybe soon.
No, we're never having birds.
They're just out there on the trees chilling.
They can just hang out outside. Like they can hang out outside and they can sing all they want, but they're not singing inside my house. I have PTSD from Hurricane Irma. It's fine.
Yeah. So since you guys are kind of connected in the San Antonio pop culture scene, for those that want to visit San Antonio and love pop culture and stuff, what kind of like shops and things would you recommend them to check out in this beautiful city? And either or you can answer.
I'm a big fan of the Brick area. I like all those little mom and pop shops in the downtown. And since I skate a lot, anything with a skate trail that has those shops, safe, I like towards that. But usually downtown's the fun part. Always has something going on. What about you?
I would say, at Wonderland, I did say, it's not a traditional mall. There's a lot of mom and pop shops, on the second level and some on the first level. Check it out. They have a lot to offer, a little bit of everything, for you. There is quite a bit of pop culture in there. They also have like a lot of, what is it called? Warhammer 40K. I don't know if you guys know of that. I know they have some of that going on. So there's a lot of great stuff in there that is going on for it. But I mean, that's all really that comes to mind. I know there's a lot more in here. I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
I like the nightlife. I like going to St. Mary Street. They have all those bars and bands.
Yes, I would agree.
I was like a lot of shows.
All the stuff that people do after my bedtime.
Hey, no, me too. The perfect night is I'm home by 12.
Planet. I'm the oldest 40-something on the planet. I'm like, is it bedtime yet?
Hey, the daytime's not bad either. Like the food truck places, they're really fun. I don't know. There's something every day here. Like all you have to, if you're bored, just type in fun place outside. The Cove, I like going there. We like drinks and having your kids play and bands.
Yeah, we love the food parks.
We all
went to one in Bernie.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
That one was nice, and they had nice like little shaded places you could sit. Of course, we went like one of the hottest days of the year, but
I was gonna say it'll make you or break you on those hot days. Some places have like misters, and even that doesn't help. I'm like, it's just sweat.
Well, we went because they were doing the San Antonio Brahmas like fan get together.
And they were doing a school supply drive.
Yeah,
we had a great time. It was awesome, and the food trucks were pretty well priced. Like you assume that when they sit in a place that they'd be a little bit more
chef's kiss.
A little bit more expensive, but they were actually really moderately priced and fast and delicious.
I feel like the food trucks actually taste better than a lot of those chain restaurants now. Like, can I say that?
Well, it's because they're different
and they're the same price.
Yeah,
it just feels like the quality of chain restaurants, the food went. So I'm like, let's go to a food truck. And people are like, you don't want to go sit down and eat? I'm like, no, trust me.
Well, food trucks elevated their craft a little bit to
Yeah.
promote themselves from the what people used to call them.
And a lot of
I'm
the
impressed.
a lot of the food truck
Yeah.
people used to be like, chefs in restaurants, and they got tired of working for the man and all that. They just
got on their own.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you elevate.
We're here for it.
Do right? Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's something going on September 30th.
Oh, look at this. You have a fan.
I'm on the 956. Whoop, whoop. I was on the Valley. They have delicious food. I look for it. I'm a foodie.
What was the place? Like Thunder Rosa used to do this, do her taco thing on her.
Oh, is that the one that she did with Danhausen? Oh, yeah. I'll have to look it up.
We have to go there still. Yeah. But she was like, "It's the best tacos in Texas, or the best tacos in San Antonio."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm there for that."
Yeah. So, do you guys have a favorite?
I'm there for food.
A favorite place to eat that you recommend here in San Antonio?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
We all get excited. We're like.
Super excited. So this will be for my morning breakfast people. This is a place on the south side on Shasta Avenue in Pleasanton called Rolando's Taco House, home of the Super Taco. Now, when I say Super Taco, I mean this thing is going to fill you up and someone else, and it's not at all that expensive. So especially on the weekends, maybe you went out, you had a night out, and you need to recover. Rolando's Super Taco on the south side. I'm telling you, it's kind of get another with me.
Bring on the food.
Yeah, Larry says, bring on the food.
All of the friends we made out here were like, just get ready for the San Antonio 10. And I'm like, I can't afford 10 more. Like,
I was going to say, I recognize when you said it was Larry, I was on Larry Knows Tacos. He's a big fan. That means we're coming when you come to San Antonio, Larry. We're going to that taco place.
So I will tell you,
Rolando's?
My favorite taco has always been Al Pastor tacos. I grew up in San Diego, and I would always go to Tijuana, Mexico, and that was my favorite taco to eat. So when we moved to Florida, I couldn't really find a good one. Like any of the Mexican restaurants there weren't very Mexican. A lot of the times the people work there were from Puerto Rico. So
and Puerto Rican food is different. It's not the same. Right. And so when you go to a Puerto Rican restaurant, you expect like mofongo and something else, you're just getting a different flavor altogether. So to have it in a Mexican restaurant. And then, of course, a lot of things in Florida got Americanized for some reason. I feel like out here, I know there's a lot of Tex-Mex, but out here, it seems to be a little bit more traditional like it was when we were in Vegas.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a girl that quite literally like didn't know what an avocado was until she moved to Vegas. Yeah, I swear to God. Had no.
Oh my God. I was like, I need the cilantro, the onions, the avocado. And then I liked somebody introduced me to, I'm gonna say it wrong, I'm so sorry. Tapequeño. And I used to eat after I had that on a taco, I can't go back. It's all like the grease falling. I'm like, I don't know. The flavor is like 10 times. I used to eat, I call them dog tacos. And that's a funny, weird story, but they're the mini tacos. Is that what you're talking about?
The street tacos.
Yeah, street tacos. Yeah. Those are
yes, there you go. I went to Mexico and my
them.
friend told me they're called dog tacos because they're made out of dogs. That's why there was no dogs in Mexico. And I was like, I don't care. These are delicious.
And that's funny because that's like one of the biggest Mexican myths of all. But I mean, it's stuck around.
I was like 17 at the time, to be fair.
Well, and to be completely honest, when you think about places that are super poor, you have to find food somewhere. So let's just be real. It could be.
Hey, as long as it's good.
I mean, if you season something enough, and put enough ketchup on it, it's fine.
Seasonal. Oh, I had my favorite Chinese restaurant just popped into my head. It's off of
Chinese.
410 Callahan. Yeah, 410 in Callahan. Ding Hao. You can't miss it. It's a building on red stilts.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm so sorry.
Amazing.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to message me the name of these places so I can check them out.
For sure.
And then Roy says Matamoros Tacos. Did you put that up already?
Yeah, I did. I
have no idea where these places are. Like we haven't been half the places. He's got lists.
Well,
like,
I'm part of that Facebook group called San Antonio Restaurants. It has like
I like to say delicious tacos.
It has like 160,000 people in that group.
It's hilarious because before we even planned on moving here, like he was making all the plans, and he was like getting his like little presentation board ready to try to sell me on moving, because I was like, I'm never moving again, because I'm never moving my ever again. And of course I moved all my shit from Florida to San Antonio. Forgive my language.
Well, she was asking about that earlier.
I've been trying. I really have. So like moving here, I was like, well, you know, you got to tell me what I'm gonna gain by, you know, schlepping my stuff halfway across the United States again. And he's like, well, and he's like, da 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 da, and I was like, okay, all right, let's go. And we did, and I'm not disappointed. I'm quite happy, actually.
And you love your job.
And I love my job. Like, I haven't loved teaching in a while, so I'm back. I say in a while. I do love teaching. It's just
you haven't loved.
I needed a change.
Yeah.
So I love being a teacher. I don't always love teaching. Let's just put it that way.
The burnout is real.
Yeah. And this is year 19 that you've started.
Yep. I have fifth graders. I don't know how fifth graders tire you out more than sassy eighth graders, but man, my fifth graders, they got me hopping, and I am dead tired. Like, so tired at the end of the day. I'm like, I'm gonna go home and go to sleep, kind of thing. Like, but they're fun and they're sweet, and they just like people still. You know, like eighth graders are like, you don't know anything, and I'm like, baby, I've lived it. But like fifth graders still like you, and they still want to hug you, and they still want to be like, what do you think about this? And they're just fun. Maybe that's why I'm tired, because there's so many more conversations than with eighth graders. I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, just like grandkids. Just like kids. I have the kids. Like, okay, both kids come with me to school. One goes to the junior high, and the other one goes to the elementary, because I teach at the intermediate school. I pick them up, and in the car, it starts. Or the
middle schoolers on his Discord.
And I'm like, or my oldest, the middle child's Discord with his friends from Florida. And I'm like, I don't know why they said to have children. I don't know why they said to have more than one. Because now all they do is fight, and all they do is like complain about everything. I'm like, what happened to my sweet little babies? They were so sweet. It came out this morning.
So I don't know if John has any, but John, I hope we're not detracting you from having kids.
No. If anything, you're helping me add to the list
of reasons why not.
I have a list. It's like 1,000 reasons why. Okay.
I came out this morning, and my 12-year-old puts his fists up, and he was like, "What?" And I'm like, "I just wanted a hug. It's 10:30 in the morning. What the heck?" And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna hit me." I'm like, "When do I hit you?" He's like, "I want to fight you, Mom." And I'm like, "Why? It's 10:30 in the morning. I haven't done anything yet. Like, you don't have a reason to be mad at me yet."
Fair. He doesn't need a reason. He's just mad.
So Dallas, how old are your little ones?
Mine, sorry, I had muted my mic. I have a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old.
Oh, are they
That's-
all girls?
All girls. I got a girl. I'm building my own derby team.
Oh,
right
okay.
on. I had all boys, so it's like not for the faint of heart, which is fine because I don't think what I would have done if I had girls. Like honestly,
our youngest wants to be a pro wrestler.
Yeah, and the other one wants to be a herpetologist. He wants to like work with snakes, like venomous ones. And the oldest, the 21-year-old, he wants to work with electricity.
Oh.
So I mean, it's like danger all around. I'm gonna have real gray hair soon.
What is it? Dream, real quick. What was your derby nickname?
Helena Heartless.
Okay, classy.
Yeah, I was like Helena, Tim Burton's wife. I really liked her character in shows and stuff, and then the Heartless from Kingdom Hearts.
I love it.
Very good. Sasquatch, let's go.
Oh my god!
Aren't most boys kind of Sasquatch-esque, anyways? Brighton takes his shoes off in the car, and I want to die.
Oh.
I was like, dude, put your shoes back on. He says, Mom, my feet hurt. And I said, but you're killing me. He says, I thought you didn't have a very good sense of smell. I said, I can only smell the bad stuff. And that is bad. Like, bad. He says, well, where do you think I got it from? And I said, yeah, but I don't take my shoes off. He's like, shut up. I'm going to keep my shoes off. I said, put your feet out the freaking window. You're killing me.
She's airing them out. She's airing them out.
Whoa.
Let's talk about your tattoo there. I know that you have a love for tattoos. Is that the only one that you have?
Oh, no. I'm going to be very honest. I pressed a button. I don't know how to use these.
Oh,
and I don't know how to put them back on.
It's all right.
I was like, I hope my volume didn't mess up. My husband gave me these and then he walked away and I clicked something. And I'm like, I can't hear anything. But yeah, no, my tattoo is Fiona and Cake.
Here, I'll make her bigger so we can see this.
Oh.
It's Adventure Time.
I was like, I love Adventure Time. It's like Dungeons and Dragons and I like that stuff. The creator, I don't know, he did a really good job. It's a kid cartoon and it's for adults. I love the adult humor inside of it. The jokes, I was like, they hit it every time. And the woman, I don't know, I really like that. Yeah, he makes the girls smart and funny and not like airheaded. They're like just as clever as the guys, so it's fun banter. He did a good job.
I haven't watched any of it. Like, I don't watch a lot of anything. I watch a lot of crime documentaries and paranormal stuff. So
those are good too. It's hard to find a good cartoon.
I have all kinds of strange tattoos. Like they don't make any sense at all.
Those are the best kind.
I have a teacher tattoo, a unicorn tattoo, a Tweety tattoo, a portrait of my dad, and a Star Wars tattoo for no apparent like. There's no theme. There's no.
Doesn't have to be.
The collective of the years.
I've collected unicorns since I was 9. I lost my dad when I was 6. Tweety Bird has always been my favorite Looney Tune. I'm a teacher, so I have a teacher tattoo. And then the Star Wars one, I actually got at a convention. And I only got it at the convention because I had extra money and I was dying for a tattoo. And it's a watercolor tattoo, which it's a rebel and an empire symbol.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it's been, I don't know, like I don't have anything to tie them together. And I have a list of like 80 more that I want to get. So
yeah. So if you know any good tattoo artist here in town,
I just need a really good artist that'll do something that is different, but not price gouge me into debt because freaking tattoos are expensive.
Now there's some good ones here and they're very fair. I was like, it just depends if you're looking for black and white or super colorful or I was like, but there's a person for that. San Antonio, you can't go wrong.
I can't draw. Like I have the vision of what I want because I have 3 boys. So I want the crown that Max wears in Where the Wild Things Are, but I want 3 of them. And then I want something that goes, I want their names on the crowns, and then I want it to say, I'll eat you up, I love you so. And so like the first time I read it to the kids, like I was like, these are my kids. Like Max was my kids, like the embodiment of my kids. So don't throw that at me. He's trying to throw the thing that he got at the gunslingers game at me.
I'm curious, did you like the movie?
The movie was okay, but I thought it was kind of detracted from the story a little bit. Like you gave
Like
too
scary?
much personality to characters that didn't need it. It's weird. Like, how do you take a 12 or 15 page book made for kids and turn it into an hour-long movie? Like,
and they got scary. They got a little scary.
It was kind of scary. I was like, okay, I get scary stuff. Like, you know, when I was little, like when I first saw Gremlins, it scared me. It's my favorite movie now, and I get that's a horror movie and it's not really for kids, but like you kind of, they marketed Gizmo as this cute little thing for kids, and then the Gremlins were like this awful thing that, my God. But it just, I don't know. How do you take a 20-page book for kids and then turn it into an hour-long movie that, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite.
It looks like, Dallas, you have a fan club in our chat room.
Oh, yeah. So Larry's my dad. He's right. I really wanted a tattoo, and like you said, sometimes you don't want to pay for it. So my bright idea was I ordered a tattoo machine online, and it came to the house about when I was 17, 18 years old, and I took to the room and I set everything up. I watched so many YouTube videos. I was like, I got this. And I started to tap myself. Let me see. Can you see it?
Oh.
That's
and
actually
then,
not bad, really.
And then it was a lot harder than I thought. And so I was like, Dad. I thought he was going to yell at me, but he was really cool about it. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, well, let me try. So it was cool. Now it's a memory forever. But I can't tattoo.
I don't mind going and having somebody do it. Like, it's cathartic. It feels, I don't want to say good. It doesn't really feel good. But like,
it's therapy.
It is therapy. I like it. Like, kind of lets out all the pent up whatever. Like, whatever mess is inside you. It kind of like sets it free or whatever. Because my first tattoo was the portrait of my dad, and it's right here on my shoulder. And the whole time it didn't ever hurt. It just, when they hit the nerve that goes up into the side of your face, like my whole, like my neck and my scalp right here and the side of my face, it was all tingly. And I was like, that doesn't even hurt. It kind of feels good. Like it was massagey.
It's like, maybe I should stop. You're like, no, keep going.
But
so John, do you have any tattoos?
I have a nice birthmark on my right side of my hip. I mean, that's about as good as it gets on a tattoo. Nice stab wound from another lifetime right there.
Maybe you need a Power Rangers one.
Well, it was kind of like get a tattoo. I can show the truck off to everybody. They can see me driving. So you know what? We opted for the truck. Maybe
do you let people try the helmet?
What's that?
Do you let people try? You said you had like a helmet.
or is it a decal?
Oh, I was like, man, do you get the helmet for the truck?
I mean, I have one, but it doesn't really close all the way. My earlobes kind of get in the way, so I'm kind of like, and it's a little hot in there, so it fogs.
I would imagine, yeah, Texas, you're like in a toaster.
Yeah, it'd be cool for like photos, but practical driving, not happening.
Oh, Terry says a friend of his went and bought himself a tattoo kit. He says he can't draw. Yeah, it went horrendously bad.
Horrendously bad.
He tried it though.
That's okay. I didn't learn my lesson after I did this when I tried to tattoo my side. Yeah.
The worst part about tattoos is if you decide to have it in a place where it's not necessarily comfortable to sit for long periods of time. Okay, that would be the other thing. I always thought that was really cool because Lita has a tattoo inside of her lip. I always thought it was really cool, but I'm a chicken.
Kane Hodder has one too.
I am a chicken. Hers says rebel in Russian. So
that sounds really cool. Mine's silly. It says Ola.
Oh. I'll bet it that hurt.
It didn't hurt. It was so easy and so fast, but it was when I was 22 and it was supposed to say holla, but the L erased, so it just says Ola.
That's great.
Good thing that those are hidden.
I got this one. This is my teacher tattoo, and I got this when I was I was like 27 or something. And now he used a smaller gauge needle, and the font is really close together. So everybody just asked me what it says. So it's like, why does it say peach? And then what are the other words? And and it's an apple. It's not a peach, but because it has a little curl, it's an artistic version of an apple, and it's not colored in. People are like, why does it a peach? And I'm like, it says teach them well, stupid. Like, I'm like, I'm a teacher. It's an apple. It says teach them well. No peaches. It's good.
And then the peaches is supposed to be like the booty side.
It's like people are dumb.
No, it's an apple.
Peaches don't have leaves at the top, like usually. Like when you see a peach, it just looks like a butt. I don't know.
I'm not gonna say anything.
But these are the same people that when you see a kid with long hair, you just assume that it's a girl. So like my son's hair is down to his waist, and if he wears it down, they call him a girl. If he wears it in a ponytail, they call him a girl. I'm like, he doesn't look like a girl. He's not wearing anything that is a girl. Like he's got black flip flops, a black sports shorts, and a Boba Fett shirt on. Not a girl.
I have my little girls in the Metallica t-shirts, and they'll have like cherry shorts, and they'll be like, she's really pretty, and I'm like, it's a boy. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. It's a girl. Yeah.
I used to say it for him, and now he goes, I'm a boy. I just have really cool hair. I'm like,
he already knows.
Go for it, man. Go for it, my little man.
I've done that.
I was like, you should always be free to be your own person. What did you say?
I've done that. Like I see like the long hair. Oh, it's your daughter? Like, no, it's my son. I'm like, oh.
That was my next guess.
Whoops. They were playing basketball. I kind of thought it was like, boys and girls league. I'm like, okay, she's playing. That's cool. I'm like, oh, it's not. Oh, it's the same. Okay, my bad. I'm gonna go ahead and sit down over here now. Whoops.
Yeah. We were talking about our generation being too soft. I was like, there's too many genders to know now. You can't assume anything.
Oh. Well, and then when you cross some, unheard or unspoken gender boundary, like my kid's hair is long. So in the 80s, did you mistake anybody from any of the hair bands as a girl? Like, no, and they wore more makeup.
Maybe from behind.
Maybe. I mean, but like once you saw them in the face, even if they had eyeliner on, you kind of knew they were a man.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah.
So I'm like, they would have been really ugly women anyways. But like the point was like, I had short hair most of my, childhood, like, because my mom was like, I'm not brushing this if you won't let me brush it.
But your hair is super curly.
And so then she cut it and it's super curly. So it was like the worst growing up. And I would do my makeup and I had earrings in and people still call me a boy. And I was like, fuck you, whatever. Yeah. And I did it again.
You did it.
I'm so sorry. Like one of these days, my principal is going to watch this and she'll be like, I think I need to fire you. Anyways.
So let's ask John here. John, he loves the Red Ranger. So who is your favorite Red Ranger in the Power Ranger series?
Oh, the OG, Austin St. John. Jason, if you will.
Not Rocky, huh?
No. I mean, okay, yeah, Rocky's cool. Yes, Steve Cardenas is from San Antonio. That should be another cool thing. But it's like, your first impression of the Red Ranger, or when you first introduced, is Jason. So it's like you grew up like, that's my version of Power Rangers. Like that's the OG. It's kind of like with Batman. Some people like Michael Keaton more than they do Ben Affleck or George Clooney or Val Kilmer. Different iterations, same characters. So for me, it's always gonna be Jason. I actually took my truck from San Antonio to California last year for my 33rd birthday to meet him, and also for him to see the truck. Like if I could just get a photo of him with the truck, like it's over at that point for me. Like I could die a happy man right there at that moment. So I made the drive all the way over there, and he actually took photos with it. He took videos. And there was like a little impromptu interview of it. I was like Ricky Bobby. I didn't know what to do with my hands. It was also a surreal moment for that time. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening.
Can I just say that's amazing? That's freaking awesome.
And I'm glad that it was a good experience, because you hear so many people talk about the bad experiences they have when they meet somebody, that you're just kind of like, do I really want to meet the person I, adore? Like,
I know $60, thanks.
Yeah, and that's what you kind of get from it. But I've noticed we haven't really had a lot of those experiences. Like everybody's been really very cool about things.
Yeah, I mean, I did meet Austin St. John at Central Florida Comic-Con a couple of years ago. I mean, he was all right. Just never bring up Jason David Frank, because of the beef that they had. But
oh yeah.
Well, he did come out, and after Jason David Frank died, that he said, we probably should have squashed it a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think,
I do not know the cheeseman. Spill the tea.
Oh.
Apparently, they had a big falling out around the time of the end of the series, right?
Well, yeah.
Or at his exit. I can't remember.
News to me. Wow, I didn't know that.
So.
Yeah. So when people go to Crescent Moon, is there a booth number that they should be looking for to see your stuff?
22.
22.
It's my favorite number.
We'll be at that place probably quite often.
Yeah, they sell witchy stuff.
They sell witchy stuff, and they sell Halloween stuff, and they sell weird. I'm into the totally weird oddities and craziness. I love it.
I think John.
I used to love watching that show too.
I've never heard of. To be honest, I haven't heard of Chris Moon until right now. So
I'll send you the link.
You want to go get it? 12. It is 12, right?
No.
Oh no, that's
Fox.
The box number.
The fifth box, number 5. That's why I put up 5. So in our community, because apparently houses don't have mailboxes anymore, they have community mailboxes. Ours is he was trying to figure out which one it was.
So it's the fifth set of mailboxes, but it's number 5. And I was like, it's 12. Why did I say 12?
I don't know.
Is it because the other one was 12? Where the hell did I get 12 from?
12 was the one at the apartment in Florida. Yeah, John. So I will send you what the Crescent Moon is all about. They have lots of cool stuff. And they have pop culture stuff too. So who knows? You may run into some classic Power Ranger merchandise.
The booth right next to me, the lady crochets anything, and she crocheted all the Power Rangers.
That's pretty cool.
I was like, she did Link too, and I'm a huge Zelda fan, so I was like, how much is he?
So on your free time, what kind of things do you guys like to do? I know you like the whole skating thing. And of course, we were talking about tacos and eating. But what other things do you guys like to do on your spare time?
Is there anything you do besides eat?
Tubing. I go in the river.
What is food?
Tubing is where you're going down the river with a nice cold beer in one hand, and you're floating down the river with the sun beating on you, but you got the cool water right underneath you. Great experience. Very exhausting, but so worth it.
And
The
that's
fajitas are the best.
that's like a Texas thing, right? The whole tubing thing.
I like to think.
They actually have places that will drop you off at the beginning of the river. Then you get to float down and they pick you up in 2 hours. And then they just drive you all the way back to your car. So you never have to walk. You literally just get dropped off and you float and then dropped off.
That's
super
my
fun.
kind of tubing. Like I don't want to go.
Roy
tubing.
says he likes tacos and eating.
Don't
Yep.
connect me to a boat where I have to hold
He's
on.
probably talking about me, but that's okay. We love tacos. I do. I like breakfast tacos, chilaquile tacos. I like. But no,
What about enchiladas? Enchiladas are good. Oh, there we go. Talking about food again.
Stop talking about food. I'm hungry and I don't want to eat. You know.
they have that Top Golf too, and they have all those. I just got invited. I have not been yet, but I just got invited to the Sandbox.
Ooh,
And the virtual reality, you get to be on a team and you get to kill zombies.
Oh.
They just opened that up, so we just booked ours, but I'm really excited about it. But I keep watching the videos and people look scared out of their minds. And you like horror, Halloween starting, so the 13th floor and all the horror stops are going to start opening downtown.
I know. I promise. So
She's
he
like,
we lived in Florida, so Halloween Horror Nights was a thing that I promised him that we'd do, but we never did because we kept chickening out. And so he's like, you have to go with me now. And I'm like, can we just go to like on a haunted tour? Like, can we just do like the haunted places in San Antonio? Like, can we do the paranormal, like ghost, hunting? And he's like, no, you can go to haunted house.
I will say this, we did the ghost hunt downtown. I felt really silly. I thought it was going to be a little bit cooler, but everybody's just getting drunk and they give you dowsing rods and you're walking around.
I mean, it sounds pretty fun.
Well, then that's not as fun as I thought it would
And
be.
all the bars, they were looking at us. They're like, find any ghosts? And we're like, with our dowsing rods. And I'm like, I want to go to the bar and drink. I don't want to do this.
I guess if you have enough to drink, you might see some ghosts.
You can see anything.
I went to the one in St. Pete though, and it was a walking tour, but she told us a lot of really cool stuff about the little haunted places in St. Pete. And I was like, oh, well, even though you don't ever see anything, it's kind of neat to know. It's just, I like it.
And then San
I think it would have been cooler if we were in like discreet places, but they walked us past like bars with people in them. No ghost will be here.
Yeah, they won't be there.
He's at the bar.
I mean, ghosts do frequent bars, apparently. Not when I'm there.
You know
Oh
what would
my
be fun
gosh.
if you went on one of those ghost hunt tours dressed as a Ghostbuster?
Okay, so the Ghostbusters are huge here in San Antonio. There's like a whole troop of them with the real proton packs and everything. The car.
Yeah.
They do. They had a troop. They had a troop in Florida too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. They got to get them all together like a convention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't.
I was going to say a Ghostbusters convention.
When
they have a
what's his face died
501st.
Last year when the director died, Ivan
Reitman.
Right. Yeah, when Ivan Reitman passed, the Ghostbuster troops around the U.S. they went to New York to the firehouse and paid tribute.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, they did the same thing when Harold Ramis passed away too.
Yeah.
It's nice when they show him some respect.
I mean, that's our childhood. Well, it was my childhood anyways. But I've seen all these places too early.
So escape rooms is a big thing that's popping up in cities.
I like the puzzles, but I don't know if I could do the time crunch thing. Like deadline.
We did it and failed.
Crazy.
I don't know if they have it here, but in Orlando, they had an escape room where there was a zombie tied to the wall, and every 10 minutes, the chains would loosen. So you have to find your way out of there before he gets loose enough to get you.
Who thought that would be fun. Sounds fun. I'm
I'd be so scared. I'd be like,
I'm not getting out of that escape room. I'm being eaten by a zombie.
So it's like a legit like horror scare, or what do they call it?
Scare zone kind of thing.
No, scared actors.
Holy crap.
crisis actors?
He's tied and moving, and every 10 minutes the chains just get looser and looser.
No.
So.
And
I would walk in there and tie the chains in a knot and be like,
I believe the time, I believe it's like a 45-minute or 60 minutes you have.
So I'm gonna sit there for an hour seeing this thing keep getting closer to me, and I'm trying to figure out a puzzle to get the hell out. No, I have that like fight or flight. This is me being freaking. There's no fight. There's no flight. There's me standing there.
We're gonna hear on the local news
petrified
that zombie actor sent to hospital.
Teacher kills zombie actor in escape room.
I thought it was real.
The fear overtook me. I don't know.
He came right at me.
So there's a reason for this though, because when my hometown used to have they have a park, and the park is huge. There's trails, and it's gorgeous, but at the same time, there are some places where the trees are dense and the trails are dark, and so they have a haunted trail through there, and you'd walk through parts of it. And so some of the trails were paved, and some of them
That's
weren't.
how horror movies get started.
Right.
So the guy with the damn chainsaw, I'm not even kidding you, the guy with the chainsaw was chasing my group, and I ran and I tripped over a stupid tree root and flew forward, fell on my stomach. I'm on the floor, I'm crying, and this guy's still behind me with the damn chainsaw, and I'm just like, I'm gonna die. One, because I nearly broke my face, but two, because this guy's chasing me with the damn chainsaw. And I know it's not a chainsaw, but for whatever reason, when you're in that environment, your brain does.
At least it wasn't a motorcycle this time.
It wasn't a motorcycle. It was a chainsaw without a blade. But anyways, it's not the point. Like, in my head, I'm like, this guy's going to kill me. Or I'm going to kill myself because I fell. It hurt too, by the way. I'm not graceful at all. Very clumsy. You can take me to a haunted house at your own risk. Like, swear to God. And it better be someplace they can't touch me. All bets are off if they touch me.
Oh boy.
Because two things are going to happen. I'm going to punch them or I'm going to pee my pants. Either one is bad.
Or both.
Well, if you're looking for a nice family fun Halloween thing, there's something called Halloween Pumpkin Horror Nights in Austin. There's a bunch of like things done out of pumpkins. There's like this huge like Japanese dragon done out of like pumpkins. It's really cool. I think it was called Halloween Pumpkin Horror Nights in Austin, Texas. Very cool, very worth the drive over there. And it's a nice little walkthrough. Take shoes you don't care about because the trails are dusty. But it's very cool, like all the things they make out of like pumpkins. Like it's different environments. It's very cool. And cheap to do.
Austin has been on our bucket list for a while because we're Supernatural fans. We love that TV show. And Jensen Ackles, his brewery is up there. So that's a stop that we have to make.
I'm saving $1,000 for the members club. Like that's on my bucket list. I'm joining the members club. I'm going to go when there's that barbecue, and I'm going to meet Jensen Ackles before I die. I will. It's going to happen.
I believe you will.
That's fair.
I will make it happen.
She's got a game plan in her head. She's got all the details checked.
There's going to be where there's a will, there's a way. I'm at Dean Cain. I can meet Jensen Ackles.
So Roy's wife wants to put a 20-foot skeleton in front of their house for Halloween.
Let her do it.
Awesome. Do it.
It's her prerogative.
I don't know if I could do 20-foot, but the 12-foot ones are pretty cool.
20. Let's go. Yes, 20.
Get two of them so you can have a his and hers.
Aw.
Somebody on Facebook had like a 9-foot skeleton they put in their passenger seats. And they were like, got little notes on the car like, why would you leave the windows open with your passenger in the car? This is, you're going to kill them.
I saw another one. Someone bought the skeletons from Spirit Halloween, I think, and they had it in the passenger seat, and they had the head turned looking out like at traffic, and the finger up and the finger like that. So anybody that drove by was getting the middle finger
from a skeleton.
Kind of like that.
Something I would do. I personally love Halloween. So like everything has a tinge of Halloween to it. So I don't know. Not right now, because I don't know if you've caught the echoing that's happening in the house. We don't have a lot of furniture or a lot of things on the wall yet.
But we will. We have.
But we
cool
will.
art.
I mean, we have to have a hammer at some point.
Yeah.
But like we have tons of artwork and tons of, knick-knacky type stuff that I have my snow globe. So amazingly enough, my crow snow globe did not die on the move. It was the thing that didn't break that I put it in the car. And I'm like, you're gonna find a place for this and you're not gonna break it. I wrapped it in like 10 feet of bubble wrap. It sat on the passenger side seat or the passenger side floor. I made sure that it didn't break.
So speaking of the crow, there's this artwork by Scott Straka.
It's nice.
He's based out of Philadelphia. So awesome. In January, which I'm going to talk about here, we actually have partnered up with Hodgepodge Tastic. It's a Funko Pop store. It is our official Funko store. They are a wonderful store. They're very organized and clean.
So pretty in there.
Customer service, I would give like 110%. As soon as you walk in, even if they're talking to someone, they say, "Hi, how are you? Welcome." And that's the type of service that I would like when I go into a restaurant or a store. Or
like the people, even if you don't know the people.
Yeah. So in January, they have the creator of The Crow, J.O. Barr, is going to be in their store in January. So this is something that we're probably going to get signed.
I love The Crow.
I do want to say this is one of my favorite. This is an original piece. It's a Power Rangers.
Oh, it's the Dragon Zord.
Player.
It's the Megazord, right?
This is, it's the Dragon Zord and Tiger Zord. My goal was to get Jason David Frank to sign it, but unfortunately he did pass away, so I never had that option.
But you met him twice.
I did.
It's not it's the end of the world.
I mean, I do have his autograph on a morpher, so there's that. But yeah, we have cool stuff that'll be hung up once we get a hammer.
Well, once we get a hammer and once we have some furniture inside the house, So like a lot of the boxes, I got rid of a lot of the boxes. They're all like waiting to go to the trash in the garage. But then I have all these boxes of like art supplies and miscellaneous things that, you kind of have because you have kids. And so like we have markers and colored pencils and crayons and paper and all kinds of stuff like just sitting in boxes in the corner of the kitchen or the corner of the dining room because I don't have a place for them to go yet. I'm like, man, I have a desk, a bench, a sewing table, and that in the garage that need to be refinished. That's my project for after payday. And then we just picked up that TV stand. And then there's a desk that I'm going to put in the bedroom for it'll be my vanity because it's pink and it's sparkly, which is really strange because I'm not pink and sparkly, but I can make it my own. It can be pink and sparkly and dangerous.
But we have
be pink and sparkly.
We have hit the mark, so we can do the other stuff we have to do today. But before we go, where can people follow you on social media? And we'll start with you, John.
All right, cool. So you guys can find me at Red Ranger Truck. It will actually be at the Kukui Fest on October 8th at the Alamo Beer Brewery next month. And then you can also find me on RageFlare _ on Instagram as well. If you ever need any custom laser engravings that I can go ahead and fulfill for you. But that's where you can find me.
Dallas.
Crescent Moon. I always put my artwork there, and I always make it a little bit cheaper than when I sell it, just because you have to drive out over there. And then you can find me on Instagram, _darling_rebel. And I also have a TikTok where I do a lot of hyperlapse videos. You can add that, but a lot of that's just goofy. Just you might not want to add that.
Oh, well, I appreciate you guys coming on today and sharing what you guys do and just chatting with us. It's been fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
This is fun.
Yes,
I was so nervous, but I'm like.
As always, we end the show with our bell.